I've always wanted to take the chance, to go play D1. And then here, this is the highest level of D1 football. The SEC is the pinnacle. I was on the phone with Coach Cramsey, and they said, you're gonna get an opportunity to try and become a SEC quarterback. Honestly, that's the greatest thing I could have heard. Just being given that opportunity and getting a chance to compete against very good competition, that's something that excites me.
Hey guys, welcome to Co-Host, the only show where each episode we have a different athlete on to co-host the episode. It is a very much an intentional show to get into the athlete's personal life and what's about them. This episode we have a huge guest. His name's Braeden Fuller. He's a quarterback at the University of Arkansas, and he's here to tell you more about himself and his journey and, what to expect at Arkansas, and he goes into a little insight about NIL too. I hope you enjoy the episode, and that means cue the music right now. Welcome to Co-Hosted. Let's get into it. My co-host today is Braeden Fuller. He plays for the University of Arkansas, and his stats say one thing, but trust me, after this episode, you're going to get to know a whole lot more about Braeden. Welcome to Co-Hosted. You've officially got the keys.
Well, thank you for having me. My name's Braeden Fuller. I'm a transfer quarterback here at Arkansas. I'm coming from Angelo State University. We're a D2 football team, and like you said my stats. I can't name everything off the top of my head, but I was a Harlan Hill finalist in 2024, which is equivalent. It's the D2 Heisman, so one of the highest honors I could have been named up for, and it was a good campaign. And then in the next season I dealt with a little bit of injury, but was still able to do enough and blessed enough to be put into this position here at Arkansas.
That's great. So just between the 24 and 25 season, did you go through something? I heard there was an injury. I don't know if you want to go into that or.
Yeah, I had gotten hurt in the 25 season. I tweaked my knee, kind of got tackled weird, and then kind of the season just. What we held our standard to didn't really go the way we wanted. We dealt with a lot more injury as well, and it was kind of just a little rockety, and injuries, O-line injuries, receivers, running backs. It was tough. So, but we still did good. But for us, we wanted to do better.
For sure. So before we get into more of the stats and what's going on at Arkansas, what's a normal Tuesday for you look like on the Hill right now?
On the Hill Tuesday. We for the past couple weeks we were waking up early. I was getting up at about 4:45 in the morning, and we were doing our basically mat drills. We call it the War on the Hill. We got our groups. My team's Rack City, and so we go. You go do stations, compete against other teams, and then you see who comes out on top at the end, earning the most points and winning drills. And then we would go lift after that at 8 a.m. And then after that, my Tuesdays were those are my class days. So I'd have 2 in-person classes. I'd walk up the hill after being up early, working out, lifting, which those are pretty tough days. Making the walk up the hill after doing that. And then after that, we'd go do meetings, install the new offense and stuff. So pretty busy day.
For sure. And What do you do outside of football? Say you didn't, you're senior, right? Football's about to be gone. What is your career path? What do you want to do? And then what is a day like when you don't want to think about football at all and you're trying to clear your mind?
So what I want to do, I want to stay around the game of football or just around athletes in general. I'm getting my bachelor's in kinesiology and then trying to get a master's in physical education. and I would like to be a personal trainer or maybe like quarterback coach or just a football trainer in general. And then like a typical day, if I'm just trying to, clear my mind off football, just relax, I like to go golf with my buddies or my brothers. That's always fun. Or, hop on the game, something like that, or just, relax a little bit or find a body of water to be next to.
All right, you said hop on the game. Like, what games do you play?
I play Siege, Rainbow Six Siege. I like playing Fortnite still. I still think it's just the best game ever, so I like playing that. Sometimes, the sports games, Madden. We used to play NBA Live a lot, me and my buddies, but they turned the servers off on us, so that one kind of hurt to not play anymore.
Are you looking forward to being in the game this year, NCAA football?
Yeah, that's going to be pretty sick.
Right. What do you think? What do you think an overall would be?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, coming up as from not being in the game, and I'd probably say hopefully in the 70s maybe.
All right. Well, I'll put more into like actual questions about sports and less more about like your personal side. So I've looked online, and you're either 180 pounds or you're 230 pounds.
I know, man.
Like, that's a 50-pound difference in a short window of time.
I know. It is, I rolled into college at probably about 190, so I don't know. I think that was on my official visit. They weighed us in, and I think I was probably 180 pounds, and then we just never got to updating the website, and then we finally did. And I had bulked up to 230, but I was like 190, got up like 200, 205, 210, and then bulked up to 230. But now I'm sitting about 220. I wanted to lose a little weight, still be able to move and feel good, though, at a heavier weight. So I'm 220 now.
So, like, the runner-up season, like, what would you say your weight was then?
When I was 2024, I was 205 to 210 range, would fluctuate throughout the week.
Yeah, I feel like fans are going to like that because they could see the speed, and it's like if they're thinking that's 180 and now you're 50-pound difference. So, so the coach says the QB room's wide open, right? Fans might say something else, but like where are we at there? Can you give us like an inside look on the QB room? You're like the experienced guy, so.
Yeah, I mean, I believe what the coaches have to say, and everyone's getting the opportunity. It's new offense, new coaching staff, and everyone has to prove themselves. Even guys that are returning from last year, that doesn't matter. Everyone has to prove something, and I'm a big fan of that, and I believe that's what we're doing in the quarterback room. Everyone's taking their reps, and you gotta be able to learn this offense and kind of take control as well. Be a leader, step out, and just do the right things.
Do you look at Trinidad Chambliss as like motivation at all? He moved up from Ferris State, although Ferris State's powerhouse in D2.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they beat my alma mater Harding this year again. So, but is that motivation at all?
Yeah, I would say it's motivation because me and him, we were up for the Harlan Hill in the same year, and it was awesome to see what he did. I would say, honestly, a lot of people write off the talent that sits in D2, or maybe, he didn't have any stars in high school as a high school recruit, and I was the same way. And I think people finally get to see that, if someone plays with they got a chip on their shoulder or they've been overlooked, those people they have a lot of talent, and they're going to play really hard, and it's inspiring to see what he did, and awesome. And, if I could follow suit, that'd be pretty great.
All right. So, why the University of Arkansas, right? Sitting here as a fan, we just went 2-10, didn't win a single SEC school. You're leaving a D2 program where you got to play right. You're taking a huge risk coming to D1. So, can you just walk through like the thought process of transferring, how you chose Arkansas, and why like that was the choice?
Yeah, definitely. I've always wanted to take the chance, to go play D1, and then here, this is the highest level of D1 football. The SEC is the pinnacle, and I was on the phone with Coach Cramsey, and they said, you're gonna get an opportunity to try and become a SEC quarterback, and honestly, that's the greatest thing I could have heard. just being given that opportunity and getting a chance to compete against very good competition, that's something that excites me. I love competition. I love working. So it was just the opportunity of a lifetime. So.
All right. So that is going to transition us to our next segment of the show, the NIL talk. Of course, we're Choose Arkansas, so we got to talk about NIL for the fans out there that don't know. We're not just going to stay with NIL here because I think you offer a lot more, and we'll just transition that to like the transfer portal, right? Mm-hmm. So, we talked a little bit before the show, but like, can you talk about like, what it's like entering the portal? Kind of like how many teams hit you up? Like, what does that process look like? Because like fans don't know. I think most fans just hear about the 1% dudes, but like, what is it for like every other guy out there?
It's nerve-wracking, man. You're jumping into the unknown, and I had signed with an agent, so it helped, someone having connections. But even on that, like, it's nerve-wracking. I'm a D2 guy, and that's a risk some people are taking. A guy from a lower level, if they, people might not think it translates, but like we just mentioned, Trinidad, I think it does. People can play, and there was coaches reaching out, and that's what sometimes you'd get nervous, like you're like, oh, is this gonna like happen? Am I gonna get offered? And that's what you have a lot of family talks. It's like, what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna move to? It was a lot of decision making. And it's nerve-wracking, but it's super exciting. You get that feeling again, like when I was in high school. You're getting recruited again, basically getting to talk to all these people, go on visits, experience new things. So it was a lot of fun, but I think it's worth it to take the risk if you bet on yourself and you believe you can do it. So, and then
for sure,
you just got to go get it.
I feel like coaching staffs at the D2 level understand too, because it's like if I'm a D2 coach, right? And half my roster goes D1, goes to the SEC, that doesn't just speak volumes about you, right, as an athlete, but it speaks volumes about that coaching staff to get you ready to make that jump.
Absolutely.
So I think I read somewhere online that you had two brothers as well that were on the team as well.
Yeah.
All right. So are they still there? Or
no, so they're older than me, and but my oldest brother is 6 years older than me. And I actually got to play a season of college football with him because of COVID. So that was pretty cool. I never got to play anything with him, any sports, and then we get the opportunity to play, and all three of us were on the same team, and our cousin was on the football team as well.
So a little bit of a legacy family there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it was awesome for sure.
All right. So let's go. I lost my questions here for a second. All right. So, like, what is your situation as like far as NIL goes at Arkansas? Like, is it mostly rev share? Or are you getting some other other deal? Did you just come in as like, hey, I'm not going to get paid as much as I could somewhere else, but it's the SEC. Like, if you don't want to go into it, that's up to you. But
I'm honestly just not too sure how it works, to be honest. Like, they've talked to us, but it's still like it's new to me, and it's that's just what it is. I think it's rev share. I think so. Could be NIL as well. Like, I'm honestly not too sure, but definitely a blessing. I was, it's a lot different. In D2, we're not, we don't really have a rev share or a lot of big NIL deals like that. Like, most of the stuff was clothing brands, and you would just make a little percentage off of that, and you would maybe, reach out to a company here and there and kind of get lucky enough to be able to, start putting out your own product.
For sure. And then, like, have you got any different deals while you've been at Arkansas? Or, like, if you had to, do a deal with a company in Arkansas, do you know what your perfect brand would be? Like, what brand would, like, represent you perfectly?
Well, with the help of y'all, we got to be able to get some of the Red Bull stuff going, so that's awesome. That is my favorite energy drink, so that's awesome. And an Arkansas brand, I don't know, but a brand I would love to work with would be Turtle Box. I love being outside, love being by water, and I have a speaker by them, and I would love to get a, maybe an Arkansas colorway, and they put a Razorback on it or something like that. But that's definitely, I think they encapsulate what I'm about. Kind of being outdoors. You can all terrain, kind of a little tough, rugged type speaker. So I definitely big fan of that.
Hey guys, it's that time in the show where we talk about a sponsor or a product we're doing here at Choose Arkansas. So right now we're really going to push the DMAC merchandise line. If you would like your own exclusive DMAC gear, the one that I'm wearing the shirt in the episode right now, and I have a hat right here with me, and we even have little DMAC bumper stickers to go in your car for each member that joins the DMAC club. So go check us out at choosearkansas.org or choosearkansas.shop. And now let's get you back to Braden and to the interview. Thank you. All right, so we're going to jump into our reaction segment where Braden here is going to react to something that was on the internet about him that might not have been the best thing. Some of them were kind of indifferent, but he's going to go ahead and start with one of these things, and they'll be uploaded for y'all on the screen.
All right, let's see. It says here on Reddit, I'm honestly surprised he would want to do this. He was a Lone Star Conference Offensive Player of the Year and a Harlan Hill finalist, basically the D2 Heisman. Now transferring somewhere he will never play. And then we get probably getting nice NIL, and someone goes, Trinidad Chambliss got an opportunity, and he played himself into a draft spot. Probably the kid's best shot at having any kind of career in football. Sounds like a depth piece, but I'm rooting for him. And then someone sounds like maybe one of my fan or a defender of me. They go, doesn't know he played for Bosco sophomore season of high school, and is great. Shouldn't have been D2 in the first place. It's honestly a lot to take in, but kind of like how the last two stated, just taking an opportunity and hopefully get myself into a spot, that either a draft spot or some type of spot to continue to play football.
For sure. Right? Like, I mean, if for me, I'd tape that crap up, and every day I'd walk out the door, I'd be reading that and be like, all right, whatever your name is on Reddit, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. I try not to pay much mind to, the comments online. I know it fires up my dad and my family a little bit. They all go look at it, but that's not what I'm not too concerned about that. People can talk all they want.
All right. Now, do you have the 4th and 5 quote? It should be the first one under reactions on our notes.
Okay. Okay. Right here, he says, I didn't see a lot that jumped off the tap that made me say wow, so I think we're just looking for a little more depth. DJ Williams. I guess I didn't impress him with film, but I think I can change that. I think I can play. I can play some football. So if I get the opportunity, I think definitely up here I can prove him wrong and prove a lot of people wrong. Hopefully.
Okay, now I want to do DJ some justice. After he said that at the end of the video, right? As I was going and researching you, like, I pretty much did a full internet stalk. Like, I filled up everything. But he finished it off with saying, if he is watching this and you agree with me, shame on you. You need to say, screw that guy on 4th and 5 podcast. I'm coming here to compete and to start. Yeah. So he wants you to just say, screw him. So we will say, screw you, DJ. All right. So now we're going to go into our next segment here, and that's going to be hot takes. We're just going to give him some kind of topic, and he's just going to react live to it, right? So the first hot take is, how do you feel about Arkansas, who just went 2-10 last year? You weren't a part of that team, but the first time ever they're going to be charging an admission to the spring game.
I don't know. I'm getting in for free, so I can't really complain. But maybe there's going to be a lot of people, and they're just trying to make a little something off the game.
All right. We ain't get him for that one, right? He's not going to get in trouble. He's been around a lot. Okay, so now here's the hot one, right? It's like, who on the team would you allow to date your sister if you had a sister?
I would go Hudson Hendricks.
Okay.
Just a
now,
stand-up guy, glue guy. Really, he's awesome. I definitely would if I had a sister.
All right. Now, here's the last hot take for you. Can you name one coach in the SEC that you absolutely would not play for?
Yeah, I'd go probably Kalen DeBoer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know, why is that?
My brothers actually played under him, so I kind of have I don't have experience, but they played under him and they have their opinions, and I ride with my brothers, so I'll wouldn't do that to them, and I wouldn't want to go play over there. So.
Ooh. I was not expecting that at all. I thought it would be like, you researched Arkansas, you found out our rivals, and you just threw the fans a Kiffin or, somebody else, right? But that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So now, time for our rapid fire segment. I'm just going to ask you some questions, and the first thing that pops in your head, right? All right. So fill in the blank. The SEC would be better if.
Golly, I don't know. It's pretty.
It's already great. It's already great. All right. Your next one: pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Yes, don't mind it, but not my top pick.
How do you pass your time going to an away game?
Kind of just talking with the guys. It was a lot different for me. We were riding buses for most of the time, so I would probably sleep. We had pretty long bus rides, so I would sleep most of the time, and if not, just chop it up with the guys, kind of talk about, really take your mind off football. You're just traveling, and kind of we're sightseeing, on the bus, so kind of just taking it all in.
All right. This next one might have been on hot takes, depending on your answer, but Walmart or Target?
Walmart.
Okay. Good. Summer or winter?
I'll go summer.
All right. So that's it for those. One last question. I kind of forgot it at the beginning, but Pidge. Where did the nickname come from? What's that all about?
It started when I was in third grade, and me and my dad started it, and we honestly kind of struggled to remember how, but I think it was I think I kind of had a little obsession. It was early 2010s with the Oregon Ducks, watching a bunch of those dudes, Mariota and DeAnthony Thomas. I would just watch those guys' highlights, and then I think one day he's like, "You ain't no duck, you're more like a pigeon." And so pigeon, it was pigeon for a long time, and we'd kind of say it like pigeon, pigeon, all this, and then it just kind of got shortened down to Pidge, and I like it a lot. It's been almost, I think 10 years since I've been getting called pigeon or Pidge, so that's just kind of, I think that's what we've come to. That's the story. So, but I like it.
All right, co-host, go ahead and close this off where fans can find you on social media and just send us off with some good words.
Braeden Fuller _ I think you should be able to see my name, how to spell it here. But had a great time on the show. Looking forward to doing more work with y'all, and hopefully meet some fans, reach out to people, and just thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.